Hello everyone, this is Lucanator here, and today I have the gameplay analysis for me playing psyframes versus Nigel playing ddds. So this is game 1. He does manage to beat me. Congratulations to him. I do misplay a few times. I feel I definitely could have won this game if I had played it a bit better. But yeah, so let's get into the game. So I'm going first. I won rock paper scissors, or whatever we did. So my opening hand is 2 terraformings, a psychic bath, a twin twisters, and a psyframe driver. So that's a pretty bad hand. There's not really that much you can do with it. So I want to use my draw power first. So I'm going to go terraforming into chicken game, and I draw a card straight away. So the reason you don't want to activate both straight away is because if you go terraforming into a chicken game and a psyframe circuit, and then you draw a psyframe circuit, you have 2 circuits in hand, and that means you have 1 dead card. That's really bad. Whereas if you activate 1, if you draw a psyframe circuit off of that, then you're fine. You just go, okay, I'll just play a second terraforming, get another chicken game, and continue. So yeah, it's definitely better to play your terraformings one at a time, unless there's a reason not to. I get a positive duality off of the chicken game draw. I play Polar Duality. I'm not going to activate my terraforming because, again, I could be getting a psyframe circuit or a chicken game or something. So that's why I hold off on the terraforming. So I reveal Delta, Psychic Field Zone, and a psyframe circuit. So here I'm considering taking the psyframe circuit or the Delta. The Field Zone is kind of useless because I don't have any gears in hand. So if I wanted to take the circuit, the reason for that is because I could go terraforming into chicken game and draw another card to see if I could get something useful. And the Delta, because I know my opponent's playing ddds, he's been playing them for the past few weeks. I know that ddds are quite reliant on the spell cards, so I'll be able to negate that, and then I'll be able to summon an Omega, which is quite nice. It gives me some board presence. Let's be set up. So I'm going to take the Delta. That is the best option, and then terraforming into the psyframe circuit and set twin twisters and pass turn. Now my opponent's opening hand, he has the Kepler, he has a Swamp King, fusion card thingy, he has a Solemn Warning, a Vanities, a 1-for-1, and a Leonidas. So he's going to play Kepler straight off to get the Dark Contract. And then when he plays that, I'm going to negate it with my Delta. And then summon an Omega. Now, I make a mistake here. I should have immediately banished the Omega, just to take cards out of his hand, so he's less likely to set up. I was thinking that potentially he could FTK me. So, there was that consideration, but it's unlikely, to be honest. DDDs, they're kinda sustained, they do need some setup. And after I took out his contract, I don't think, even blind, I don't think he would have been able to do it. So yeah, I definitely make the mistake here. Also, it reveals that I have access to no other negates, so he can just play for free and not have to worry about me blindly dropping Gamma on him or something. So yeah, that's definitely a mistake. Bear in mind that your opponent doesn't know what cards you have in your hand, so you can always try to bluff things. But if they then do something and you don't respond to it in the way that they're expecting you to do, then they will know that you don't actually have that card in your hand. So my opponent's now going to consider playing 1-for-1 to discard Leonidas and summon a level 1, or play the Swamp King straight off. Personally, I think he should have played the 1-for-1 because he then gets another monster on board so that he could use. So it could be like a Lone Fire or something. Lone Fire, sorry, a Glow Up Bulb. I know he runs a Glow Up Bulb. Or it could be, I'm not sure if any of the Necro cards, the ones that let you do stuff from the graveyard, are level 1s. I'm not too sure on that. So he could have definitely got more resources by playing 1-for-1 first. But he goes for the Swamp King. I think he should have played 1-for-1, but that's his choice. So he summons Oracle. Now, he doesn't want to attack because he doesn't want to crash. He wants to keep the life point effect up, if possible. So, because he won't take the damage from the trap card, continuous spell card, he'll gain the life points instead, which is very nice for him. So yeah, he goes and sets his entire hand. Now, when he set the penultimate card, I should have activated the Omega effect just to take it out of hand, so that I can banish Omega if I need to. So if I drew another gear, I can take Omega off the board at will. So that's definitely a mistake I made. I also would get to see what card he has in his hand, so I could determine whether I want to banish it again or not. So yeah, that's definitely a mistake I made here. So he's going to end his turn. During his end phase, I'm going to flip Twin Twisters. So I'm going to discard the Psychic Path, because the Psychic Path is not going to hit anything. None of my monsters is going to be banished. I got a psy-frame circuit on board, and I don't have any overloads, or to be honest, any monsters worth banishing. Well, any monsters able to be banished. So yeah, I discard that because it's a dead card essentially. I then hit his fusion card because I don't want him to just constantly be banishing stuff out of the graveyard and just resummoning the oracles, which are actually quite annoying because they have the same attack points as Omega. So that's kind of annoying. To be honest, leaving the Omega on there just like that is quite bad. If I wanted to summon a monster just to be a monster, I could have summoned a different level 8. So that was an option here. Of course it was quite risky if I was going to do that. But yeah, I also hit his 1-for-1, which is quite bad for me. He actually played a rather annoying mind game. He set his bluff first, and then he set his regular back row afterwards. If I had used Omega to banish his first set, I would have gone, oh, okay, he set a trap card last. I could have kind of worked out what he was doing. But I didn't do that, so I didn't hit the right targets, potentially. It's my turn, I draw a Gamma. I just end. I feel I should have attacked the Oracle right now, and I could have just discarded Driver to gain some board presence. But I decided against that. I think the reasoning behind it was if I discard it during his turn, then any other stuff he summons won't be able to get over it because it's until the end of the turn, I think. So yeah, that's kind of the logic, but it's not that good. So I just end my turn. He draws into a Necroslime. He just sets it. He's then going to attack. He forgets about the psyframe circuit effect, so I just discard the driver and beat him up for 25. So yeah, I then draw into a second psyframe circuit, which is really bad at this point. It's a dead card. So yeah, I then attack into his Necroslime. I did actually call it. I kind of guessed what it was, because what else would he be setting at this point? So yeah, I then end my turn. I probably should have left that on board, because then he can't use it. So I should have just ended my turn. So his turn, he draws into a Dark Contract, which he activates straight away. He then gets a Kepler. From that, I'm then going to just Omega to banish it so he can't search anything. So this is a alright idea, because I know I can just Gamma the Necroslime. So he goes to Necroslime, I activate Gamma. He then flips Solemn. So that's really good by him. He negates all my stuff. And he gets Ball Presence at the same time, which is a really nice use of Solemn just to gain so much tempo. So really good play by him. So yeah, he just summons the Oracle. He then flips Vanities and then goes to attack. So the Vanities play is actually quite good, because if I've drawn a Beta, I can't negate his attack and destroy his monster and then put a Omega on board. If I had had a Beta and he hadn't played Vanities, I could have just won basically at that point. But he tries to play Vanities, I think, to stop my Omega returning, which is slightly wrong, but yeah, it doesn't really matter too much. So he attacks and ends his turn. So my turn, I draw into a psyframe overload. That's pretty useless. So I'm gonna set it anyway, because if he blind hits it with a back row removal, I can get Surge. There's no reason to keep it in hand. You may as well set it, even if it gets hit as a blind back row target. It's not that bad. I'm going to leave his monster on board because if I kill it, I will kill his vanities, and that means he will be able to do a lot more stuff. He does have a Kepler in hand, which means he'll be able to get a search, but he won't be able to, well, he won't be able to special summon anything. So leaving the vanities on board is probably my safest bet, I think. So I'm just going to pass that. So during his turn, he draws into a Twin Twister, which is going to be the card that actually allows him to win right now. So he uses the contract to search a Necroswell, and he then goes and plays Twin Twisters to destroy my Overload and my Field Spell. Now, he has normal summons, but that doesn't really matter. After that resolves, I'm going to go ahead and use the Omega effect to banish the Kepler out of his hand, which is a huge misplay from me. I do not have enough life points to be able to make that play because he has a Necro Slime Engrave. He can just summon another Oracle and then attack the game off of that. So that's exactly what he does. He summons another Oracle and attacks the game. So what I should have done is I should have either just left my monster on field and hope he crashed with it, or just left it there to minimize damage. Or if I thought he was going to be able to get a bigger monster, I could have chained the Overload effect to banish it and then banish his Oracle, which would have brought me another turn. And then I would be able to get a search for something, probably a beta. I don't know what my next draw was, but it would have kept me alive a bit longer. So that could have ended up in me winning the game. But unfortunately I didn't do that. So congratulations to Nigel for beating me game 1. As I did mention before, I did misplay quite a bit. Had I not misplayed so much, I could have potentially won it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you learned a few things, so where you can misplay quite easily, so you hopefully won't make the same mistakes as I have. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.